Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. जय जगत गुरु शिला प्रपात की जय, शिला गुरुदेव महाश्री गोसाई महाराज की जय, भगवत गीता एज इट इज की जय, श्रीमद् भागवतम पुराण की जय, नेक्टर ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शन की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल, हरे कृष्णा dear devotees, welcome to today's class. Sorry about that before the mic problem. So we are studying nectar of instruction text 1. So so we will recite the verse again, because these verses are very important. So we want to remember these verses by heart. So I will recite that. I will share the screen, because the more we recite, the more we will get better and we will remember the verses. So I will recite first, and then we will, the other devotees will do one by one. वाचो वेगं मनसः क्रोधवेगं जिह्वा वेगं उद्रपस्थवेगम् एतान् वेगान् यो विषहेथ धीरः सर्वामपि माम पृथ्वीं सशिष्यात्. A sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger, and the urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals is qualified to make disciples all over the world. All right, so intermediate devotees, now you can recite it. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu, for the classes, and thank you, Dolly Mataji, and thank you, His Grace Amrish Prabhuji, Purna Pradna Mataji, and Krishna Sampin Krishna Prabhu. Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam jivha vegam udarupasta vegam etan vegan yo vishaheta dhiraha sarvamapi mam prithvim sasisha. A sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger, and the urges of the tongue, belly, and genital is qualified to make disciples all over the world.
Thank you. Yes, who's next?
Hare Krishna, Guruji. I can go next.
Yes, Matu. Hare Krishna.
Vacho vegam manasah krodha vegam jihva vegam udarupastha vegam etan vegan yo vishahet dhiraha sarvamapi mam prithvim sashishat. A sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger, and the urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals is qualified to make disciples all over the world.
Thank you, Matu. Yes, who's next?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for taking these classes. Thank you, Dolly Mataji. Thank you, His Grace Amrish Prabhuji. Purna Pragya Devi Dasi Mataji, and Krishna Samarthan Krishna Prabhuji. Vacho Vegam Manasa Krodha Vegam Jiva Vegam Udarupashta Vegam Etan Vegani Obishhet Dhiraha Sarvamapi Mam Prithvim Sasishyat. Translation: a sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger, and the urge of the tongue, belly, and genitals is qualified to make disciples all over the world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you Prabhuji for taking this class. Thank you Dolly Mataji. Thank you His Grace Amrish Prabhuji. Thank you Purna Praja Mataji. Thank you Krishna Satin Krishna Prabhuji. Vegam manasa krodha vegam jiva vegam udarupasta vegam etana vegani obisheta dhira sarvamapi mam prithvim sashishya. A sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger, and the urge to tol- the urge to speak and belly and genitals is qualified to make disciples all over the world.
Yeah, the urge of the tongue, belly.
Urge of the
Very nice, Mataji. You are reciting it by heart. Okay. Hare Krishna. There. Let me see. Devotees. Okay. All right. So we all. Yeah. We will go to the verse. Translation and purport by Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And thank you, His Grace Amrish Prabhu, Hare Krishna Pragya Devi Dasi Mataji, and His Grace Krishna Smarpan Krishna Prabhu for organizing this class and giving me chance to share my realizations on this verse. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Srila Gurudev ki jai. So we are studying the purport of this verse, the first verse. So we done a couple of paragraphs. So I just want to just quickly recap what we discussed so far. So we discussed about the real atonement and what is real atonement, and the sinful activities doesn't counteract with pious activities. And then we discussed about the tapasya, what is real tapasya is, and the level of tolerance and patience that's going down in today's world or current age. So this verse is about controlling the urges, controlling our actions and demands and everything. So yes, so it's so we discussed so far these points. So and we'll read the verse, the purport, what Srila Prabhupada are saying next. So yes, so who's volunteering to read today? I think Pradyumna Prabhu didn't read it so far. So Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. First, one must control his speaking power. Every one of us has the power of speech. As soon as we get an opportunity, we begin to speak. If we do not speak about Krishna consciousness, we speak about all sorts of nonsense. A toad in a field speaks by croaking, and similarly, everyone who has a tongue wants to speak, even if all he has to say is nonsense. The croaking of the toad, however, simply invites the snake. Please come here and eat me. Nevertheless, although it is inviting death, the toad goes on croaking. The talking of materialistic men and impersonalist Mayavadi philosophers may be compared to the croaking of frogs. They are always speaking nonsense and thus inviting death to catch them. Controlling speech, however, does not mean self-imposed silence, the external process of mourn. As Mayavadi philosophers think, silence may appear helpful for some time, but ultimately it proves a failure. The meaning of controlled speech conveyed by Srila Rupa Goswami advocates the positive process of Krishna Katha, engaging the speaking process in glorifying the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Thus, the tongue can thus glorify the name, form, qualities, and pastimes of the Lord. The preacher of Krishna Katha is always beyond the clutches of death. This is the significance of controlling the urge to speak.
Yes. So the first here, Srila Prabhupada are saying about the first urge is that vacho vegam, that is the urge to speak. So there are 6 kind of urges that we're going to talk about this verse. So first is vacho vegam. So vacha is speak. So we can see that nowadays people very busy in talking, and they and they just the urge is very much high to speak, everywhere in social media or everything. So Srila Prabhupada is given the example here about the field toad. Toad is croaking, and inviting snake, come and eat me, and snake comes and eat it. So this is the position of today's human being, because everyone is busy in giving their opinions. Vacha, the power of speaking, is very powerful, and this influences our thinking. So this influence our thinking nowadays. One, like, we got so much social media like Twitter and other ways of to give our opinions or our comments, and that's winds up people. So and they get upset. Somebody are in favor, somebody is against it, you know, and there is so many other things like free speech issues and media, and they are building narratives, different narratives to to propagate their propaganda. So this is all power of vacha, the power of speech. So this urge to speech or urge to speak is very strong. But if you engage this vacho vegam in Krishna Katha, then this will liberate us. So Srila Prabhupada said that the preachers of Krishna Katha is always beyond the clutches of death. So this way we are not like a field toad that's croaking and inviting death. Instead, we are glorifying the Lord and his pastimes, which give us liberation from birth and death. So the main point here is that the example is very practical. The field toad, he's croaking, he's just making noise all the time, and in busy doing that, he's not aware that snake is coming, and he's going to eat snake, and it's helping snake to locate as well. So it just come and grabs it. So so this cropping of field toad that's what we are doing. So, and nowadays people are busy, as I said, that they constantly engage in vacho vegam. So this social media, actually, this is aggravating this urge more and more, because before people involved in prajalpa also, like, it's not like it's just happening now. They always are, prajalpa is always there, talking, useless talking. When we get together, we just talk here and there. But with this social media, it becomes very easy. So because we can access this laying down on our bed, we can do anything, comments and likes, and all those sort of things. So there was some sort of break before, like, it's not that easily available, so you had to go physically, get together and then do it. But when you come home or then there was a routine, discipline. So all the discipline is gone. So um yeah, so that's why the they run now, it's called detoxification or phone detoxification or something like that. So people leave their phone behind or somewhere and then go for a few days, where especially the smartphones, and then they just want some break. So that detoxification needed nowadays. And Srila Prabhupada, actually, this mentioned by Srila Prabhupada that here, this doesn't mean the self-imposed silence. This is an external process of mourn, mourn. Mourn means silence. So silence may appear helpful for sometimes, but ultimately it proves a failure because this is it's an artificial means you just forcing it because it's not a natural process. So you can't be mourn all the time. So yes, so this is the truth, because what will happen when you come back from this detoxification um, days? So you will access the social media again and even wants to catch up what you have missed. So you want to do it more. So similarly, another way is people wants to detoxify, like one is called Vipassana. You might have heard the Vipassana. So people go for Vipassana where they just live and they don't talk anybody or concentrate on their breath or their different techniques. So, and that's allow them to calm down or be in silence. So these are different techniques, um, but this will help for sometimes, as Srila Prabhupada said, it helps for sometimes, especially when you are there. But when you come out from it, then again you will involve in those things. So a person who seriously practice bhakti yoga or devotion service doesn't have to go for such kind of detoxification camps or whatever they call. So he follows the routine sadhana, which will purify him daily. Because as Guru Maharaj says that you retire daily. So do not wait for a time where the favorable time will come. There is no favorable time. So we have to daily practice and study. Obviously, we have to spare time to study and practice. So which will come from this to minimize our prajalpa or useless talk. So the best way is to control our speech, is to engage in Krishna Katha. Now, glorifying the Lord or name, fame, and pastimes, and preaching and chanting and sankirtana. So this is all a natural way to control our urge to speak. So otherwise, we are very like a field toad. So who invites snakes to eat him? So Srila Prabhupada is saying that the preachers of Krishna Katha is always beyond the clutches of death. So this is the meaning of it. Because everyone has to leave the body, but like a field toad, if we engage in useless talk and prajalpa, then we will invite death, because there will be no work done on the real problem of life. And what are the real problems? Birth, death, old age, and disease. So death is inevitable, because all material possessions and position will vanish at the time of death. And Srila Prabhupada says that in purport that the death is also Krishna. And there is one purport I was reading Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada are saying that death is also Krishna. And there is an example in Bhagavad Gita chapter 10 verse 34, Mrityuhu sarva haraschaham. So Mrityuhu means Krishna comes as death. During your lifetime, if you do not understand Krishna consciousness, this Krishna will come as death and take away everything what you have got. Sarva hara. Then your body, your family, your country, your bank balance, business, everything finished. Now you have to accept another body. You forget about all these things. This is gone. So this is the meaning of sarvasya hara chaham. Means mrityu, as a death, Krishna comes and takes away everything. So like toad, it's croaking, and snake comes and grabs and everything is finished. So this is the meaning of inviting death. But on the other hand, the preacher of Krishna Katha is always beyond clutches of death. How is this possible? Because he must die as well. The body, if he got this material body, this body needs to be, there is an expiry date on it. We discussed that last time. There is an expiry date. So he expires. So how is a devotee is beyond the clutches of death? So because devotee always, because devotee also has to leave his body, but the consciousness is different. A devotee of the Lord is always Krishna consciousness. And naturally, at the time of death, of leaving his body, by the grace of the Lord, he remembers Krishna and go back to Godhead. So he knows that he is going to home. And this material world is temporary and full of miseries. But a non-Krishna consciousness person take this material world and his possession all in all. And this is the time, and thus at the time of death, everything is gone. So he gets scared because death is taking away everything, what is material. But in the case of devotee, he is beyond from the clutches of death by the mercy of the Lord and devotion service. So because he knows and he performs devotion service. So and that's why he's beyond of the clutches of death. So Srila Prabhupada gave these examples like toad and a devotee example, a very practical example to so we can understand what is the power of vacha, what is the urge of speak, urge of vacho vegam. It's very strong urge, and we should employ this urge or employ our speech in the right direction. That's what we're doing here now, Krishna Katha, preaching activities. So we employ or we engage our speech, engage this vach vegam into right direction, so we can control it. Right. So I hope I explained it in simple manner. So is any question or comment so far on the vacho vegam part? No? All right. So we will, I'll share it again. I will read the next para. Yes, Prabhu.
The restlessness or ficklessness of the mind, manovega, is controlled when one can fix his mind on the lotus feet of Krishna. The Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, chapter 23, verse 31 says, Krishna Surya Samma Maya Haya Andhakar, Yahan Krishna Tahan Nahi Mayara Adhikar. Krishna is just like the sun, and Maya is just like darkness. If the sun is present, there is no question of darkness. Similarly, if Krishna is present in the mind, there is no possibility of the minds being agitated by Maya's influence. The yogic process of negating all material thoughts will not help. To try to create a vacuum in the mind is artificial. The vacuum will not remain. However, if one always thinks of Krishna and how to serve Krishna best, one's mind will naturally be controlled.
Yes. So here we, Srila Prabhupada explaining about the second way, or the manasaha vegam, the minds, minds demands. We translation, we studied minds demands. So manasaha vegam. So mind's nature is restless and flickering. And actually this is Srila Prabhupada gave this reference from Chaitanya Charitamrita. It is very, very nice example is how we can practically control the mind, because Maya is Andhakar and Krishna is Surya Sam. So where Krishna is present, Maya can't be there. Like sunlight. If sunlight is here, so it can't be darkness. But when after sunset, darkness comes. So they both together can't be face to face. So, and how we practically understand this, there is a verse in Bhagavad Gita about the mind. I'll just share that. Where Arjuna is asking Krishna, Chanchalam hi manaha Krishna pramathi balvadridam tasyaham nigraham manye vayoriva suduskaram, very, very hard. So translation, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong, O Krishna, and to subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the wind. So here Arjuna is asking that mind is very, very strong, restless, and it's more difficult than controlling the wind. And Krishna, I just wanted to read the point from the purport. Srila Prabhupada is saying that intelligence is supposed to direct the mind, but the mind is so strong and obstinate that it often overcomes even one's own intelligence, as an acute infection may surpass the efficacy of medicine. Such a strong mind is supposed to be controlled by the practice of yoga, but such practice is never practical for a worldly person like Arjuna. And what can we say of modern man? The smile used here is appropriate. One cannot capture the blowing wind, and it is even more difficult to capture the turbulent mind. The easiest way to control the mind is, as suggested by Lord Chaitanya, is chanting Hare Krishna, the great mantra for deliverance. In all humanity, the method prescribed is Savai Manaha Krishna Padar Vindeo. One must engage one's mind fully in Krishna. Only then will there remain no other engagements to agitate the mind. So the best way is to control the mind is to engage in Krishna consciousness activity, right? So mind often overcomes, here Srila Prabhupada is saying that mind often overcomes even one's own intelligence. We know that intelligence is above the mind. Senses, first the senses comes, senses is controlled by the mind, and then intelligence comes, and then soul. So how come the mind overcome the intelligence? And Srila Prabhupada gave very practical example that like as an acute infection may surpass the efficacy of medicine. If we have some sort of infection, sometimes infection in our body is so high that even when we're taking antibiotics, it will take some time or some days to control it. And only if we complete the course of medicine, there is a course of medicine, like 5 days, or 7 days. So we have to take the medicine or the antibiotics to control the infection in our body. So similarly, the best medicine prescribed in this is by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is chanting of the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So this is called Mahamantra. So this Mahamantra is prescribed here. Actually, what is mantra? Mantra is 2 words, man and manaha and trayate. So mana is mind, trayate is to deliver, who delivers the mind, So, and this is called Mahamantra. Maha is greater. So it's a greater of all the mantras, Mahamantra. So this is the best way to control the mind. And there are other practices to control the mind like yoga and meditation, like creating a vacuum in the mind, as Srila Prabhupada saying, and that is not a practical thing. Whenever like in meditation, they say just concentrate on nothing, thoughts will come and just concentrate in between the thoughts, the empty space. How can you concentrate on empty space? And these are different techniques, but not for this age, not for the common man, because it's not practical for the common man or a worldly person. There is another line here, Srila Prabhupada saying that worldly person like Arjuna, And we know that why Srila Prabhupada says that, because Arjuna is very exalted personality. But why Srila Prabhupada is saying worldly person to Arjuna? Because Arjuna is a Kshatriya, and he's a married man, he got a family, he got responsibilities, prescribed duties to follow. So all the duties of the world, he got it as well. He has to do it. So he's representing us, or representing a worldly person. And he is saying mind is restless and turbulent, obstinate, very strong, and more difficult than controlling the mind. So if Arjuna is saying that such an exalted personality who can control his sleep, because his other name is Gudakesha, an expert in his prescribed duties, then what to speak of us? Can we control the minds by these artificial techniques? No, it's no chance. So this is the mind. This is the powerful mind. And this is another word here used for mind is pramathi. Pramathi is like a mad elephant who's intoxicated. Sometimes mad elephants get mad, intoxicated. So he's very strong, and nobody wants to come in front of that mad elephant, and he destroys everything. And that's why mind always demands. So there are endless demands or desires, because another point that mind is a storehouse of desires. So the person comes, sorry, these desires, they just comes and demands come, and the mind demands because he wants to fulfill those desires, and then intelligence also taken over by those, by our mind. So what is the solution? So if this is so paramathi, so strong, everything is like that, and it's harder than, what is the solution? How we can do it? Although Srila Prabhupada said that follow Krishna consciousness, but then Arjuna asked this question, and Lord Sri Krishna says in the next verse, and gives the solution also. Hold on, I'll just share it. Yeah, Shri Bhagwan Uvacha Asamshaya Mahabaho Mano Durnigaham Chalam Abhyasena tu Konteya Vairagyena cha Grihiyate. Translation, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Sri Krishna said, O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by suitable practice and by detachment. So Lord Sri Krishna also admit and saying that it is undoubtedly ansansaya, so very difficult to curb the restless mind. But those two things, you can curb it, or possible to control it, is practice and detachment. So there is it's not very big purport, but there are a couple of points that I want to discuss by the purport. So I'll read it. Srila Prabhupada are saying, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, what is that practice? In the present age, no one can observe the strict rules and regulations of placing oneself in a sacred place, focusing the mind on super soul, restraining the senses and mind, observing celibacy, remaining alone, etc. By the practice of Krishna consciousness, however, one engages in 9 types of devotion service of the Lord. We Navda Bhakti, 9 processes of bhakti. So the first and the foremost of such devotions engagements is hearing about Krishna. And this is very powerful transcendental method for purging the mind of all misgivings. The more one hears about Krishna, the more one becomes enlightened and detached from everything that draws the mind away from Krishna. By detaching the mind from activities not devoted to the Lord, one can very easily learn vairagya. Vairagya means detachment from matter and engagement of the mind in spirit. Impersonal spiritual detachment is more difficult than attaching the mind to the activities of Krishna. This is practical because by hearing about Krishna, one becomes automatically attached to Supreme Spirit. This attachment is called Pareshanubhava. Pareshanubhava, spiritual satisfaction. It is just like the feeling of satisfaction a hungry man has for every morsel of food he eats. The more one eats while hungry, the more one feels satisfaction and strength. Similarly, by discharge of devotion service, one feels transcendental satisfaction as the mind becomes detached from material objectives. It is something like curing a disease by expert treatment and appropriate diet. Hearing of the transcendental activities of Lord Krishna is therefore expert treatment for the mad mind, and eating the foodstuffs offered to Krishna is the appropriate diet for suffering patient. This treatment is the process of Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So Srila Prabhupada always gives the medical related examples, sometimes because he was pharmacist. So and this is very relatable to us. Whenever we have some disease, we go to doctor, gives us prescribes medicine, and then tells don't eat this, and prescribe diet as well. So here in this verse, solution is given by Lord, that practice and detachment, two things. So the first process out of 9 processes bhakti is hearing, shravana. So the more one hears about Krishna, the more one becomes enlightened and detached from everything that draws the mind away from Krishna. Actually, we can experience this when we hear some mundane songs, or something you hear and this it takes away from you from this time to that time. Oh, I heard this song when I was young, or this and that. So minds goes there straight away. So those memories comes alive. So this is like when we hear something, something mundane, but my mind immediately takes away to that memory. So power of hearing is such that it takes away, and then we desire to do that thing. But when we employ this shravana or hearing in bhakti and hear Krishna katha, then we get attached more and more to Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada are mentioning that one word here is Pareshanubhava, spiritual satisfaction. So actually we all felt this when we are in Sankirtana or in chanting, we experience happiness and satisfaction. And how? Because mind becomes detached from material objectives. So always, because we are engrossed with material activities, we worried about things. Okay, what will happen to my job, what will happen next, what will happen this and that, so many family problem, or even body problem, whatever, so many things in this material world going on in our mind all the time. But when we are in the spiritual activities, when we are here hearing Krishna Katha, we are involved. So our mind is just there, So we we forget about those things, So we more and more attached or focused on Krishna. And the more we focused on Krishna consciousness activities, our miseries are less, or our mind is less restless. It's naturally controlled. So we forget our material worries and difficulties totally and engage in Krishna consciousness activities. Now, this experience may be very for everyone, different for everyone, because on the level of engagements, how seriously you are engaged. But still, the spiritual satisfaction is there. So this feeling of contentment is there. So certainly the mind is, or controlling this mind is possible only by Krishna consciousness, because that is a natural process. Because there is two things, like either you can empty or create a vacuum in your mind by artificial techniques, and that is also not going to work. It's going to fail anyway. Or another way is you positively engaged in Krishna consciousness activities. Then mind is also engaged in that. Mind is also, because it's Krishna says that this is the greatest of your friend and greatest of your enemy. So it's your enemy when he's not in Krishna consciousness activities, but his friend when you are employ that in Krishna consciousness. No, so this is only possible for Krishna consciousness activities to controlling the mind. So mind's demands is always there. So, but then you will think and engage in different activities, means devotional activities. So this is the second point that we conclude here. So now, is any question about regarding the mind's demands? Okay, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Prabhuji, I
Krishna.
had one regarding spiritual satisfaction. So, uh, what does it mean by spiritual satisfaction? Like, we are content, we can never be content by chanting Krishna's name. So, how come this satisfaction comes? Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We we never satisfy. We always wants to chant. Like that's the highest position where you wanna always chant Krishna's name. But here the point was that it when our mind is engaged in Krishna consciousness activities, it's away from material activities. It's sees the material activities, forget about it. Because we are engaged in Krishna consciousness activity, and when we engage in Krishna consciousness activities, because these activities are not mundane, these activities are not material, they are a spiritual. Spirit means these are activities of spirit soul. You must have heard that example, that a bird in a cage. So the cage, you take care of the cage very nicely. You can have a golden cage or decorate that, but you're not feeding the bird. So bird is what? That is a spirit soul. We're not feeding the spirit soul. We're not doing those activities that spirit soul wants. So our spirit soul is not satisfied. The spiritual satisfaction comes when we are engaged in those activities, the spiritual activities. So, and the example of it, or the experience of it, that when we are in Sankirtan, or we're doing Hare Krishna Kirtan with the devotees Sangha, or doing chanting, or studying or reciting verses. So you feel that contentment, you feel that calmness, that peacefulness, although it's different than different people. How even Krishna says that the level of surrender is different. So but still that satisfaction is there. As soon as you comes in Harinam, where Harinam Sankirtan is going on, you will feel difference. You will feel a difference than the normal DJ going on there somewhere. People dancing and or playing loud music. That is something different. But whenever you come to the Krishna consciousness activities, you feel a contentment, you feel happiness, you feel peacefulness, some sort of peace. So in that sense is a spiritual satisfaction. Although once the level is higher, the one you're talking about, when you are very exalted, you are very high, Uttam Adhikari, or high devotee, then it is never ever be going to be sufficient. You never satisfy chanting Krishna's name. You always wants to do more and more and more, but you will do it only when you have the taste for it. In Sikshashtakam also, Mahaprabhu says that I don't have any taste for, unfortunately, I don't have any taste for it. You invested all your energy in on the holy names of yours, but I'm very unfortunate. So this is the mood of a devotee, that we are so unfortunate. We don't have a taste, although we want to do it 24/7, but yeah, without taste, it's not happening. Is that clear, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you for asking. Yeah, so that is a spiritual satisfaction. We can experience it. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. I had one question to you.
Yes, Prabhu.
So here it was written that uh, intelligence is above mind, but sometimes the mind overpowers it. So is it something like that? We know some things are not good for our bhakti, but we still do it. So is that an example of it that our intelligence is saying that it is wrong, but the mind is overpowering it, and we still do it?
Uh, yes, because intelligence, the function of intelligence is discriminate, it discriminates what is good, what is bad, but sometimes minds overpower it, as Srila Prabhupada gave the example of infection. In our case, what is that infection? Actually, Arjuna asked the same questions to Krishna in chapter 3, like in last verses, that what is that people think that they know that this is sinful, but it's something forcefully you do it, something vivash, we discussed that before. We are vivash to do that. So what is that? And Krishna says that it's a kama only, kama krodha yesha. It is a lust. And Srila Prabhupada explained that this is a love of Godhead, but when we comes into material world, it's perverted as a lust. So it becomes as a lust. And that lust, Krishna says that what is the sitting place of this lust, in our, and then when this is not fulfilled, then we become angry, krodh, the next urge will come krodh, the actions of anger. So that related, kama krodha. So the lust is that we become vivash. And intelligence, the function of intelligence is, okay, when minds take over it, then intelligence, because it works for the mind, then it works for the wrong things as well. Okay, I want to satisfy my senses because my mind's saying that, and there is a urge, so mind is demanding, so my intelligence will find out the ways how to fulfill that. Like thief, he's also intelligent. He needs to use his intelligence how to steal, otherwise he will get caught. So many the criminals, they also use intelligence to do crimes. So intelligence is a function, yes, although it's about the mind, but mind is so powerful, sometimes it takes over. I think I clear it, Prabhuji, or is...
Yes, sir. Another question, though, you mentioned that mind intelligence function is to tell good or bad things. Is it correct or is it not? So does it say on the material platform or spiritual platform? Because in material life, like everything is sinful, whatever good or bad we think we are doing. So my intelligence tells us good or bad on the material platform or spiritual platform.
Yes, it's a bit technical for me as well, Prabhuji, but I'll try. Intelligence, yes, mind, intelligence, and false ego. That is a subtle elements, our subtle body is made of it. So mind and intelligence and false ego. So it's still material, my intelligence is discriminate, but because we are in this material world, as I said, that is perverted, it's work for lust. So it also contaminated. So once we are grown in devotional service, we get purified. What is the meaning of purification? Purification, we purify our mind, we purify our intelligence, we purify our existence. Then our intelligence clearly discriminate, okay, this is not favorable, this is favorable for our bhakti. This is good, this is not good, and how we do it. So we employ our intelligence, okay, we want to organize this program for Krishna, we want to organize this preaching big program for Krishna. Then how we do it? Then we employ our intelligence there, right? So this is one way to understand. But I think we should get more clarification. I will request His Grace Amrish Prabhu about his especially this part about spiritual or material thing on intelligence. for next before next Sunday. So is that all right, Prabhu?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, very good questions, Prabhu. Thank you. So I think the time is going to up now, so it's only 3 minutes left. Is any other questions or any comments from other devotees we can take still, and then we can stop otherwise. I'll wait for 10 seconds. All right, so that's all right. So I will suggest Prajun Prabhu, you can post this question. It's a good question about intelligence in our intermediate group, and then we can and that's how we can. I'll request His Grace Amrish Prabhu to speak on this point. Yeah. Thank you very much. So thank you, dear devotees, and Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we meet next Sunday, same time again, and carry on our purport on this text one.